Welcome everybody back, man. We're live on the NFC North Roundtable. I'm back as your host today. Naylor's figuring some stuff out, but I'm back, man. And it was a rough week, so I feel like I need this, Bass. I need this. Okay, give me something.
We'll give you
week.
this.
I gotta have
the end,
something.
though. You gotta go to the end.
Your week's about to get a lot worse, Dion.
You know
That's
what?
all I gotta say.
There we go.
A lot worse.
Right when he gets pushed to the front.
Now I'm at the top. You can't put me anywhere else. Number one.
Hold on. Let me get this right. Just I feel like
There we go.
I like that. I like that right there.
Not sure about the end though.
Right back to where we started the first time we ever did this show.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just saying.
All things are well. There we go.
Well, look, man, we got someone. We got Lupagus joining us today for one bar. It's good to have you back, Lupagus. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Vikings are 1-0. Good to see you guys again. It's been a while. I know Nick, I saw you last week, so it's good to see you again. He hopped on our show. Appreciate that very much. And if any Vikings fans in the comments, drop a skull. We're 1-0. Hell yeah.
Nick, man, you guys played 3 great quarters, man. How you feeling, Nick?
3 great quarters and lost to a guy that was voted player of the week with 143 passing yards.
3 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns.
He ran one in.
What a loser. Anyway, good stuff for 3 quarters. Not so much after, but we're coming back. We're playing Detroit this week. I can't wait.
Yeah, fired up for that. And then we got Bass, of course. Bass, do your thing, man. How you doing?
Yeah, dude. All the order's restored, man. It feels great. I'm sitting on my high horse. I'm excited to dive down into that entire game, right? The hype is so high for the Green Bay Packers and excited to talk about it. But guys, first we got to talk about some sleeper because I got some sleeper picks for you guys. Use code RTS, get a 100% deposit match up to $100. I made my picks for Thursday, and I'll read them off to you guys. You let me know if I'm hitting or if I'm not. Usually I'm not, but I got Micah Parsons more than a half a sack. Come on now. You guys know. You saw what he did at Penei Sewell, Dion. So I think you would say more to that, wouldn't you? No, okay. I got Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown, right? 9 straight. It's a lock. It's a lock, right? There's a free pick. Jordan Love more than a half a passing yard. You can get free picks on most primetime games on Sleeper, by the way. So check that out. Then I got Noah Brown, less than 22.5 receiving yards. Like, who's Noah Brown? First off, second off, like it's not going to be him. It's going to be McLaurin or Debo or Ertz. That's a $5 play to win potential 40. What do you guys think?
The disrespect for Noah Brown is crazy. He's one of those random guys who always shows up in primetime games. Like, who the hell is Noah Brown?
That's going to be my loss.
That worries me a little bit. The rest, I think, is pretty solid.
Yeah, I think Dion, your favorite one is the Micah Parsons more than a half a sack.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I love that one. Really rooting for Micah this year. Hopefully,
I mean, if he did that to Sewell, like, what's he going to do to Josh Conley?
All right, we got to get off of this. we got to keep moving.
Wow.
All right, look, man. Shout out to Bass for holding that down, man. Check out
RTS, baby.
We also have a quick super chat. Skull Vikings from Chris O. Cheers to a Bears loss. Packers suck. Now we're getting back to where we need to get to.
Chris always coming through.
All right, we're gonna jump right into it. We'll go recap these games. We're gonna start off with the Bears. Even though it was Monday night, we're gonna jump there first. We're gonna go Bears Vikings, and this game ended up, in my opinion, being fantastic. I mean, it came out a little bit slow. It felt sluggish, but the ending was great. I mean, I didn't have a side in this one, but it just thought it was a good football game for Monday Night Football. I mean, there was a lot of newness going on. So I guess I'll start with you first, Bass. What did you take away from this game?
Yeah, so I turned it on, I think after the first or second drive, after I was on Twitter and I was kind of watching some of the Caleb highlights, and I was like, man, he looks fast. Like, he's moving around the pocket, moving around back there. I'm like, he looks a lot faster, and he's actually kind of making some nice throws. That one roll out to the right, he like fired that thing to a Dunze. The velocity on that was ridiculous. And, at first this game just was pretty much boring. Like, we had that Bills-Ravens game on Sunday, which, insane. And then we have this, and we're just like, typical. Like, what a great game Sunday. And then now Monday, we just have this, snooze fest. McCarthy throws a pick 6 to, what's his first name? I know his last name's Rayshawn Wright. Okay, because I was like, is that the brother of Rayshawn who was on Last Chance U? And I was like, yes, it is. I didn't know that at first. I was like, that's cool. I didn't know both of them are still in the league, so that's really cool to see. And at first, like, Minnesota looked a mess, man, and it was just like nothing really was going. McCarthy kind of looked like really timid back in the pocket, just kind of couldn't fire on his reads, like figure out where he wants to go. Really liked what I saw from Jordan Mason. And then obviously that fourth quarter, man, just completely flipped. I think, Lupagus, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys had like a 4% chance of victory at one point.
It was very, very
lower.
Low. Yeah,
maybe even lower. Yeah. So
the fact that fans in the comments, it was dire. They're
Oh
jumping
yeah,
off the cliff.
they flipped right after. They're like JJ McCarthy GOAT MVP, like right after, right? But yeah, JJ flipped that switch, and it's what you saw, coming out of Michigan. Like he has that winning demeanor, that ability. Although win-loss isn't a quarterback stat in my eyes, but he still has that switch to really just kind of take command, take control. And then really with the Viking or the Bears, it's just like their issues still, showed true. Caleb's issues still showed true, like missing a couple wide open receivers, the DJ Moore on the slot fade. And I'm sure Nick's going to talk a lot about it, especially with the kickoff and whatnot. But it still ended up being a great game. Wish it was a tie, but I think there's a lot to clean up for both teams.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bass. JJ McCarthy has such good spirit, such good energy about him all the time. Like that felt like the perfect time for things to get rattled, and he didn't. So I love you saying that because it felt like that in college too. He was kind of that same guy that just brings the energy, but he looked good at the end, man. That dude was ripping some passes. We know he's an athlete, but I just think the velocity that he has on the football is what stands out. Like that dude has easy velocity. I mean, it was dumb. It was a 2-point conversion, but I'm watching like, man, he's got a rocket just firing it out there. But for what Bass said as well, like Caleb got out to a really hot start, 10 for 10 start in that game. And my biggest takeaway for Chicago was, it just felt like y'all kept beating yourselves. Like, honestly, the false starts were crazy. The first one, I think it was like a 2nd and 5 false start. There was another one. It was a 2nd and 10 false start. That was nuts. I would say for me, I thought the O-line, which was kind of revamped, maybe not up to kind of the standard, which is, I guess, expected a little bit in week 1, specifically Jonah Jackson. I thought it was very shaky. Dahlman, I didn't think it was that dominant at center. And then Jones, I wonder about Jones at left tackle going forward for you guys a little bit there. But ultimately, I am with Bass in the sense that, like, I felt a lot of it looked good. A lot of it looked fast. Caleb was working pretty darn fast. And he made some great throws in that game, but it was just, everything felt like y'all just kept taking a step back. You just did something to yourselves in that game. And then JJ McCarthy just became that dude in the second half, honestly. And I thought ultimately that O-line just started to take over a little bit. Like that O-line that I thought on paper was much better than that Bears defensive front. But just by the way, Nick, in fairness, I didn't know y'all were missing that many players. I'm watching the back.
Yeah.
Like, who are these dudes playing out here? But they're missing like every good player at every like key position. The top corner, your D line was just, when you guys had to rotate the D line, it just felt like, this is not the same. Chris Williams was in there, and
we had a practice
Billings.
squad guy out there.
Who was that? Who was the practice squad guy?
The DN? Passing you. He came from New Orleans.
Yes.
Big defensive end, but he still had a sack and 2 tackles for loss. I was like, Dennis Allen, do your thing, man. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep cooking.
No, you're good, man. I just didn't realize that Noah Sewell felt like he was flying around too. I actually thought he looked pretty good. That guy looked like he could pass as a starter going forward for him.
So he got cut by Aaron
10
Jones.
tackles.
Well, I was trying to get
on that wheel route, baby.
But yeah, I mean, also it ended up being a good Monday Night Football game, and I'm the biggest weird thing for me was watching the Vikings defensively, because I thought in that game it didn't feel like what it looked like when the Vikings played us. That defensive scheme didn't feel like, this is how they would play the Lions. It felt dialed back. Like there was blitzing in there, but it didn't feel overwhelming up front. A lot of it almost felt like it was, let's keep things in front. A lot of 2 deep safeties, things like that. We're not giving up the shot play. So it was interesting strategy, and I'd say it worked for the most part. With that, Lubba, I guess y'all handled business. So let us know how that happened.
Well, to me, it's just, I was trying to define this game. Is it 3 quarters and 1 quarter? To me, it comes down to one player, JJ McCarthy. And that first half, the first 3 quarters, just nothing was going right for him. I thought KOC failed him as a play caller. There was no rhythm. Didn't get him comfortable, get him, have some easy reads to build some just confidence. It was kind of like 2 handoffs and throw it, which ended up in him taking some weird sacks. Justin Jefferson failed him early. He had 2 drops. He cut a curl route short. He was clearly rusty. Like, it was almost like Rocky 3. Remember when Rocky's out there doing all the bullshit before his big match with Clubber Lang, and Justin Jefferson was throwing like balls to receivers in training camp. And like, I felt like that showed, like he hadn't been on the field, and it was not, you need your superstar receiver to step up and help a young quarterback on a national stage, his first start in just, impossible conditions against a rival on Monday Night Football. And, everything went bad. Everything went sour. And then you got the pick 6. What was that? Start of the 4th quarter, late in the 3rd. It was right around there. Everything just looked bad. What does JJ McCarthy do the next time they get the ball? He's in the huddle. He tells all these guys, where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be right now? For him to say that, 22 years old, youngest starting quarterback in the NFL, to look at Ryan Kelly in the face, Aaron Jones in the face, Justin Jefferson, and say that in the huddle, it's unbelievable. The mental makeup of this kid to overcome what he did. And you guys, whether you believe in JJ McCarthy or not, I still need to see more myself. You cannot deny how many young quarterbacks would have absolutely folded in that situation, would have shat the bed, would have just, pissed their pants and gone away. Not JJ McCarthy. He flips the switch. Things start going right. end up winning this football game. The intestinal fortitude, the mental makeup of this kid is off the freaking charts. And I'm so glad he's our QB1. And he's the reason we won this football game.
All right, Nick, I'll go to you, Nick. What went wrong, man? Well, why
So-
didn't we finish?
So can I start off with what went right, or do you want me to start off with what went
definitely
wrong?
do that. You definitely need
I
to do
think like Baz said it best. Caleb came out just looking fast, like 10 for 10, first touchdown drive, or first drive of the game touchdown. Bears didn't do that once last year, so that was already broken. He also broke a Bears quarterback record, completing his first 10 passes on opening night in a row. That was good. He was spreading the ball out well. His offensive line did look pretty good. And later in the game, they definitely were struggling a little bit. But the problem is because they weren't establishing the run. I'll get into the wrongs in just a minute. But, you know, all the wide receivers, when thrown to on accurate balls, looked good, as they should. Like, that's just, you know, gets football math right there. But Caleb looked just confident out there until he did it. And that's where things went wrong. And I said this on the Sick podcast a couple days ago, is that when Caleb lost the second or third drive, it was a 3-and-out, you just saw him look defeated walking over to the sideline. And, you know, shout out to JJ McCarthy. That kid struggled in the beginning. Then the pick 6 happened. He never put his head down. He never lost the confidence. And as a Bears fan watching that game, I literally during my live stream was like, you have to respect that. That's a competitor right there. Caleb knows how much pressure is on him. Ben Johnson is a lot different head coach and play caller than he's had in the past. Definitely criticizing him. He publicly has criticized him for things that he needs to work on constructively, you know, constructive criticism. But Caleb, when he lost that confidence, you know, stock went down. Of course, he gets it back, but it was too late in the game. And that was my thing with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson admitted he didn't run the ball enough. Bears ran the ball 20 times. 6 of them were Caleb Williams. The other 14 were between DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift. Our rookie running back common guy didn't even get a touch. Ben admitted today during his presser, he's like, I need to run the ball more. Along with that, too, that silly challenge that happened late in the game. Yeah. Ben gave up a key timeout. I literally saw it, and I was like, no, why are we challenging that? And then he admitted, he was like, listen, I should have listened to upstairs. It was a gut reaction. And that's the thing, is that people need to realize Ben Johnson is a rookie head coach. Like, this was his first NFL regular season game, and he's going to have mistakes. I think he had mistakes for sure. Like not being able to kick it out of bounds and knowing your kicker's ability, that was a mistake. The challenge, that was a mistake. Not running the ball enough, that was a mistake. Making the offense too complex when Caleb was already struggling and he needed a confidence boost by weird routes and a lot of different combinations, that was a mistake. I respect that Ben Johnson, no Bears head coach has done this in a while, has literally got up on the podium, was like, I messed up on this. This is what's going to make us better. And then today, some key players came out, like Roma Dunze, Kevin Byard, and Johnson themselves all spoke today, and they were like, this is a completely different energy than last year. We're going to bounce back. So that's the doing right part. Obviously, huge mistakes in this game. I think Dennis Allen, though, did a fantastic job of what he had to work with. We were missing Jalen Johnson. We were missing Kyler Gordon. We're missing TJ Edwards. That's 3 defensive starters right there against a super tough Minnesota offense. And then we're going against Brian Flores' defense with Caleb Williams' first playbook ever, Ben Johnson's first game as a head coach. There was just everything that was handled the way it was. Looked great for 3 quarters, but that collapse truly shows that we're still a young and growing team. So I'm happy with how the Bears did for the 3 quarters. I'm happy they were able to keep up with the Vikings, and then they put up a fight at the end versus Minnesota. We lost by 3 points. People are acting like we lost by 30. I get we gave up a 11-point lead, but we came back. We kept going. But there's hope for this team. There's 16 games left. Final thing, talking about that kickoff, that drove me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And
we can talk about this
in today's, first of all, the Vikings kicker, and I'm sorry I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Willie Longballs.
Willie Longball. He literally kicked the longest field goal in Soldier Field history with the wind in his direction.
Hell yeah.
That is what you need in today's NFL. You see guys kicking 55 plus all the time. Cairo Santos past 55 plus, not very good. And the fact that he couldn't kick it out of the end zone, and this isn't, we have not seen a lot of times him kick it out of the end zone, which is frustrating. You have to have that ability. If I was Ben Johnson, just kick it out of bounds. If you were trusting your defense to go 3 and out, take the penalty. But you gave up valuable time I think it was like what 10 seconds runoff or something like that. It was crazy. So overall, frustrated with the game. But
touch base on that. Yeah, it's like with the kickoff. It's conflicting because they keep changing all the rules. But a couple like last year, it was if you kick it off out of bounds, it's to the 40, or they can elect a re-kick 5-yard penalty. I don't think that exists anymore. So they could also kick it out of the landing zone, so a little bit short. Same thing. Ball gets brought up to the 40. The touchback's already the 35. So it's like, why are you worried about 5 yards when a first down ends the game regardless? That's so confusing to me. Like,
but it's the fighting chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, for the Vikings, I don't understand why there's any confusion about Ty Chandler taking it out. Like KOC is waving. Like, what's the question? Why wasn't this talked about before? Like,
I saw that too. 101. Like,
what are we doing?
They're acting like they had him sit back there and he looked at KOC and he's so smart for doing that. It's like, no, he should have known this 30 seconds before he walked out on the field. Yeah, there needs to be one coach. Like, remember the guy that would hold Sean McVay back off the sideline years ago because he kept coming. There needs to be a guy that just he's a pro at Madden and he just knows every time situation. He knows when to take the timeouts. He knows when to kick at this, when to kick. That just needs to be like a 14-year-old kid in the ear of every coach. It's like, yeah, take a timeout right here. Because like I feel like Madden, it honestly, as dumb as the game is, like it honestly trains you to know when exactly to take timeouts, clock management, all of that, in my opinion. So I think coaches need more of that because they got all week to focus on game plan, all that. They don't got the Madden mindset timeout in their ear. So
this is why I brought up the special teams coordinator last episode. We didn't want to dive into it, but this is going to become important for both. This would be very, very important. Real quick, we got a couple of I was going to skip this one, to be honest with you, Bass, but we'll read it. Packers handle lines. Tell them, Bass, sorry, Dose. It's all good. Sinister Jackal, I appreciate you, man. Did you want to show some love? But if you want to read those, you can read those.
Yeah, they're both viewers. I recognize them. Packers winning the North this year. Go Pack Go by Chris Schwint. Appreciate it, man. I saw you on my game preview a little bit earlier. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Hopes are high right now, but got a long season ahead of us. Lot can change.
Well, look, man. Fantasy football is in full swing. My team hasn't won a game yet because I don't have a team this year. But to be honest with you, there's a great tool that I would have used this season because I'm that bad at fantasy football. And that's RotoWire. So let's give a quick shout out. Is the thing on the screen? It's not on the screen. Great. We're still going to shout them out anyway. That's fine. Let's shout out to RotoWire. Check out RotoWire, the ultimate fantasy football tool to dominate your fantasy league. Nick, how's your fantasy team doing?
Don't have one because I get frustrated just enough.
All right, wrong person. Baz, your fantasy team doing pretty
1-0, baby. First off, actually, I'm 2-0 essentially. I got a sleeper dynasty. Shout out Sleeper Code RTS. 1-0 in that. I scored the most in the league. Awesome. Oh. And then my new one, I'm 1-0 as well. I forget who I have, but I got a lot of good players on my team.
It's coming in clutch. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it is.
Coming in clutch. Okay.
100%, 15% off code RTS right there.
Love it. I love it. You can sync your league up with RotoWire, and it will give you all the data you need to win. Make sure you win your fantasy league this season. Link in the description. Sign up 15% discount with our code RTS. Lovely, man. Do you be running fantasy?
Yeah, I lost to my dad who drafted 5 tight ends. So that's on my league.
Is he trying to monopolize the tight end, or did he not mean to do that?
No, he doesn't. He was wasted during the draft.
Have you seen people do that? They draft.
He used to take Jason Witten #1.
That's
he loved
crazy.
Him. Yeah, we had the same league for 20 years. It's fantastic.
There was someone in my league that chose Matt Barkley thinking it was Saquon. No lie, I'm not kidding you. Second round, baby.
Well, RotoWire, it needs to be used. That's what we're gathering.
RotoWire would not allow you to take Matt Barkley.
Dion, if I did play fantasy, I would use RotoWire.
That's what I like to hear. Well, with that, let's jump into our next game, Lions-Packers. Really good game. I mean, I was surprised the Packers won this one, to be honest with you. This thing was down to the wire. This thing was, I mean, we gave this one up, to be honest. So I'll hold off on Bass here. Nick, I'll go to you first. What did you think about this really close game that the Packers got lucky? Go ahead.
Were we watching the same game?
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you. I'm trying to find out. Go ahead.
No, I'll say this. Like, I was watching, and we kind of talked about it last week. How is this Lions team going to perform without Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson? Like, this is the first time for their coordinators. This is the first time in years, but Dan Campbell doesn't have his guys. And Detroit didn't look like themselves. That being said, they had their moments. They did well at some points in the game. But I'll say this. I will say this. Micah Parsons is an impact on that defense. He was an immediate impact. And Baz, like we said it before, that's 3 more wins this year for Green Bay. And I was watching him the whole time. I was like, shit. Like, here we go. So, no, Lambeau was popping. Electricity was great. I'm watching the game. Obviously, was rooting for the NFC North at the end of the day for just a good one. It could have been worse than it was, but Packers definitely looked a lot more confident than I expected. They had things going. They looked in sync, not confident, Baz. That's the wrong word. They looked in sync for the changes that they've had. Not having Watson out of the gate, which shout out to him getting a 1-year extension while recovering from an ACL. That's pretty crazy. But I thought it was an overall good game, good NFC North game. And that's why also the Bears-Vikings game was another good NFC North game. So this entire division, every matchup this year is going to be a lot of fun. And I know we talked about how first week of the year, kind of strange for the division matchups. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a good game overall.
Lubbock, what do you think?
Well, let me start by saying this. I hate the Packers. I hate them more than I hate roundabouts, and I really hate roundabouts. So, to me, it's hard to judge this game because I think the Packers were riding off the energy they got from just acquiring Micah Parsons, not even a week before this. The stadium was absolutely insane. The electricity was crazy. They had a college game day setup. Where do you ever see this in the NFL where they're set up outside the stadium like they are in college? I've never seen it before in an NFL game.
Pretty electric.
It was electric. It was crazy. So I think a lot of that does factor into this. It was a buzzsaw situation for the Lions coming into this mess. I mean, Green Bay probably could have played anybody and just destroyed them, just the way the energy was at Lambeau last weekend. So that being said, it was a belt to ass offensively, defensively. It was absolutely crazy. And I'm not going to crown them. I'll crown them for week 1. NFC North, congratulations, boss. Hang your banner. You're the kings of the North for week 1.
Woo!
Huge test coming up this week against Washington. We'll really see where you're at because I think that level will come down a little bit, but I do think they're riding on Micah Parsons' way that really helped. Looking at the Lions, though, Jared Goff completes 31 passes for 225. That's like a 5.8 average. Who's your new play caller? OC? Is he not challenging the ball? Why are they not throwing the ball down the field here? That's shocking to me, and that's scary. And then defensively, no sacks. Aiden Hutchinson comes back, can't get a sniff of Jordan Love. This was just bad. And does it come down to coordinators like Nick just mentioned? Because that's my concern for Lions moving forward.
Bass, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah.
I can let you go last if you want, because I know you want to celebrate this a little bit.
No,
so
right now you're last, so I'll go first.
Okay.
So
fair enough. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, man.
Fair enough. No,
kind of felt good. It felt good from over here.
No, it's good. It's good, man.
Nah, man. To be honest with you, it feels great because you guys were really starting to change that pace. There's still so many Lions fans in that stadium, and it's because you guys have pretty much owned us the past couple of years. Plain and simple, you came into Lambeau, the last 3 out of 4 times, something of that sort, and beat us. So you guys still rode strong. You still had a lot of your fans there and all of that. But one thing, man, it's just the Packers, like you guys said, the energy was just absolutely off the charts. And love, because you make a good point. They could have played anyone because the energy when Micah Parsons just came out of the tunnel. First off, they announced the defense. They either choose the offense or the defense. They announced the defense, and Micah Parsons came out last. They also finally brought back captains for year-long captain patches and whatnot. They haven't done that in a long time. They usually just picked weekly captains. So that was also more energy and hype there. Matthew Golden, first round rookie, wearing number 0. There's just so much different that hasn't been a Packers feel in a very long time. So there's just so much energy, and man, I was so proud of this defense when normally what Detroit does, and they still tried to do it. They ran a lot of play action where they dump it back to the running back. And most of the time, last couple of seasons, he would cook. It would be play action to left, screen back to that back, and there would be a wall of blockers. The Lions tried this early. And the one thing I'll note mainly about this Packers defense is they are flying around. They are swarming. Every play, you had 5 to 6 players just kind of throwing themselves into the ball carrier every single time. Even if the player was dead to right getting tackled, you saw bodies flying in. And that's the tenacity and ferociousness this defense hasn't had in a long time. And Coach Jeff Hafley has just really transformed just the mentality of this defense. And then you add someone like Micah Parsons into this is just absolutely off the charts. And that's why it pissed me off that all week it's Micah Parsons has a back injury and he needs an epidural. It's dude, he was playing in garbage time, still going after Jared Goff. If he had any back issue, why in the world would we be playing in garbage time? And then also the narrative, The moment Kenny Clark got traded, not only has he not played nose tackle for us in probably like 3 to 4 years, the moment he was traded, all of a sudden the Packers run defense turned to bottom of the league when they were top 10, top 7 last year, right? So the fact that everyone, Lions fans, everyone else that weren't Packers fans were pretty much saying they're going to get ran all over, and the Lions 22 carries for 46 yards, 2.1 average. I'm so proud of this run defense. What Colby Wooden was able to do in the middle of that defense absolutely blew me away. A guy that came into this league as an edge rusher, 274 pounds, bumped up his weight this offseason, took on that nose tackle role with a head on because we let go of TJ Slayton, mind you, not even the whole Kenny Clark situation. The defense overall, man, I loved it. They stopped play action. They flew to the ball. And the craziest stat about like the Lions offense, in my opinion, was Gibbs 10 catches for 31 yards is the lowest yardage for 10 receptions in NFL history. It seemed like it's crazy. Like every time they threw to Gibbs, it was boom hit. And it's like Edgerrin Cooper, dude. Like that guy, in my opinion, has got to be already a top 5 backer. I honestly think he can become top 3, if not the best linebacker when it's all said and done this year. That's how confident I am in Edgerrin Cooper. Dion, I know you like him a lot too. And it's just that this guy makes Quay Walker's job so much easier. Quay looks better with Edgerrin Cooper on the field. And then when you have so much pass rush, you have Micah Parsons, Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Parsons open up opportunities for everyone else. It makes the back end look so much better. Like the cornerbacks look so much better, and Evan Williams making a phenomenal play. And that also moves me to like Jeff Hafley disguising so many good like coverages, like running through like cover 2 invert or cover 3 buzz, like doing a bunch of stuff pre-snap. And Jared Goff got baited right into that thing. So I love what Hafley's doing, and I honestly think he'll be a head coach next year, and if not that, the year after that, like guaranteed. As for the offense, flipping on here, I just feel like the Packers and Jordan Love were in rhythm, and you could see that Love was finally healthy again, and the Packers also, didn't drop footballs. Jaden Reed, they did count one drop on that slot fade. I think it was in third quarter, like 3rd and 5. Yeah. But that's a tough catch. And Jaden Reed, playing through a foot injury, I can't even be too mad at him for that. The one thing that the Packers, kind of struggled with early was the run game. I think you guys did a really good job at, really just clogging up the middle of that offensive line, and got better as the game went on. But the Packers need to get better overall running the football. They only ran 3.1 average. So you guys did a good job against us running the football as well. But I will say the pass protection, that was probably one of the best pass protection games I've seen from an offensive line in a very long time. It felt like every time Jordan Love went through his process, went through the drop, he could kind of double clutch and still have time to choose where he wanted to go. It was very evident on that first third down. We hit Romeo Doubs on a 20-yard out route. So everything, just looked really clean. I liked the calls from Matt LaFleur. I liked the vibes of the offense, and there's still some things to clean up, but I'm glad we finally stole one back against Detroit here, and we don't have another divisional game until week 12. So it was very important to get this done. Yeah, it's crazy. It's very important to get this one here. Very, very, hard game tomorrow as well. Interconference game Thursday night versus the Commanders. But man, I can't be more happy with how this team played in this game.
Yeah, well, shoot, I'll pick up right from there. I'll start with the O-line because this was the biggest question mark for us. And your guys' a couple things here. First, I would say I didn't love our strategy in general. I think that's the foundation of who they want to be with that run scheme. I think they are a zone team at heart. They like the stretch runs. But against Green Bay, like the matchup for your athleticism in the inside, I just didn't think made a ton of sense. I feel like that was some week 1, like this is who we're going to be, this is what we are. And it was like, okay, but it doesn't work against Green Bay. And I think where we felt the coordinator change was early, and then we actually felt it late, but we felt it early on the key downs. It was the third downs. Y'all converted like every early third down, and it was like first down. It was third and long, over and over and over, 4 straight. And then after that, it was like 0 for 6. So y'all converted every early third down. And in those spots, I felt the Packers were just better prepared early in this game for the money downs. Like that, you guys knew what you were getting to. Some of the looks that we were trying to do up front was just doing too much. And then the way we disguised it, it looked like the Aaron Glenn defense. But watching that, the vibe I was getting was like, well, if you're running that, and I've seen it before, the Packers have seen that before. So you felt some of that, I think, on those third downs early. And then to your point, you guys were mixing it up like crazy defensively, moving from jump. Everybody's moving around all the time. And I thought that was really smart from your side. But the biggest letdown was the interior O-line. Like, no question. Because there was runs in there that were basic runs. We're like, oh, this one could pop. And at best, it was like 4 yards. Because everybody would do the job. And one guy We had 3 or 4 plays where somebody's not blocking anybody. We're running into each other. We had 3 or 4 plays just like that. And it was typically the young guys. And then, as you said, once it got to the point where it was like, okay, they're going to rush. Okay, these guys look young. And that was the question. It was like Christian Mahogany. He played like 100 snaps last year and he looked good. But it wasn't this. It wasn't Green Bay with those pass rushers. No disrespect, Nick, but it was the Bears last year and that defensive front, and it was on schedule. And it was like, hey, we're not seeing that. So it felt like the real first test for Mahogany of like, is he going to hold up? It's like, all right, he kind of sunk a little bit. That was a mess, but only up from here. It's all right. We'll learn from that. But the run game needs to get back on point. We had a couple of breakdowns in the back end, but I think that's where I'll start. Honestly, I didn't think the offense looked much different from years past, execution wise, somewhat. But we started off slow before offensively, so I kind of thought we'd start a little slow. I had it as a lower scoring game, but ultimately it was just the inconsistency being able to run when a lot of things were on the same page, and then all of a sudden one thing wasn't from that side. So I thought the Packers just had a really good plan, specifically early in that game. The defense, as you pointed out, biggest positive was the run defense. It was a big positive because I thought if we did that, we'd be in a good spot. Like, hey, we slow down Jacobs. That's the game we got to play, and we did. we still just gave up 3 scores in like the first 3 drives. So it was like, we played the right game. We just didn't play it in those big moments. And then, as you pointed out, Bass, that interception was a killer because of the way that we were playing, because it felt like anytime there was a shot, someone would get beat up front. It's like, all right, we're not taking that shot. Let's check it down. And then we took the 1 sack at the end where I just think Goff was too hesitant. But that interception, what I liked about that play was I felt like the movement they had, my takeaway was the movement they had in the back end, it set Goff's eyes wrong. It sent him to the wrong side of the field. So when he set that way and then Micah Cook's Penne, it's like, okay, ball's coming out. And it's like, it's still, there's a world in which you complete that, but it's got to be outside shoulder. It's tight as heck. So like the odds were very slim that thing was going to be money in that spot. But it was like, now you can't even get back because Micah just cooked Penne. And I appreciate Penne. Like early in that game, I was mad, Bass. I was like, yo, I knew this guy needs to be better and he's getting torched. I see Kingsley beat him. When Kingsley beat him, I was really fired up. But come on, man. I'm like, what are we doing? All right, this guy gets a lot of love, and he looks like crap, but he settled in. He settled in the second half, so appreciate what he did as the game went on there. And if anything, like, it's still one game. You can't lose multiple games. It felt like you lost multiple games in that first
long
week,
season ahead, man.
No, not a long season ahead. A lot of positives ahead. The O-line.
No, I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Oh,
I meant like there's a lot more football to be played.
Oh,
no,
you're right.
No,
you're right.
I'm not gonna. No one's crowned after 1 week, but I'm still gonna sit here and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna still sit here and take.
You should be
my
happy.
victory.
You should be happy. Y'all handle business, man. They earned that. And so yeah, I guess I'll leave it right there. I guess we'll keep it moving then. Let's go to the previews. Nick, I'm going to start with our game first. That way we can get you out of here. So we'll go right to Lupagus, I guess, to get this thing jumped off. But we have Lions, Bears, back-to-back divisional matchups. But this one has everything. I mean, everything's tied to this. It's going to be Detroit. Ben Johnson be booed like crazy. We know that's coming. So the energy is going to be amazing for this game, and I'm fired up for it. Lupagus, what do you think we're going to see? And then at the end, give me a score.
Yeah, I'm curious till the Bears bounce back. I mean, that was a deflating loss. You had that thing wrapped up. You lose that game. How's this Bears team going to bounce back from that? I'm not sure what your injury situation is, Nick. Are the corners come back? Is Edwards going to be back? I don't know what the situation is there. But, yeah, it does feel like a Ben Johnson revenge kind of a game. But, man, I don't know. The Lions, too, on the Lions side, like, we're going to find out with these coordinators. Were they the issue? Were they the problem? Like, can they not overcome losing Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson? So, a lot of questions will be answered in this one, and I think the question will be answered, who is the worst team in the NFC North? We'll find out this Sunday after this one's all said and done, but I think this might be kind of low scoring. I'm going like 17-14, and I was going back and forth and who's going to win this one. I think I'll give it to the Lions. Lions are going to take this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, that's good stuff. That's it. You said the worst team in the North? Wait, we can't be second?
We'll figure it out on Sunday.
All right. All right, Bass, go ahead, man. What do you think is going to happen?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I feel sorry for Chicago. Like I feel like Detroit's playing. They're gonna be playing so pissed. Like I just feel like they're gonna be like Kirby's gonna go out there and kill someone. I think, like honestly. So I feel bad for Chicago after having a rough fourth quarter. Like just to get thrown into this game. I don't want to continue to doubt the Bears, but when they do the things that they did like in week 1. And what Detroit, I know they can do. It just feels like you're going to see a bounce back game here by Detroit. I think if they get more vertical, obviously, I think they need to have more of those deep developing routes. Like what really killed us for Detroit in years past was, a lot of play action with like deep digs over top the linebackers. And I feel like you guys couldn't hit that against us. And I think you will be able to against the Bears. And you got to get pass rush. Getting 0 sacks week 1. I think you guys will have a different plan going into this game, especially against the Bears, and hopefully containing Caleb Williams because he looked a lot faster, like I said. And I think like Ben Johnson is also going to have some tricks up his sleeve, though, like kind of some stuff that, for Chicago that, he practiced against the Detroit defense every day. Right. So I think he's going to have some things up his sleeve that maybe he didn't cook too much with last year. He's going to have some stuff up his sleeve. I think overall it's going to be a fun one, but I just think Chicago's kind of just walking into a so-called trap here. I have Detroit 31-21.
Ooh. Okay, I'll take that, man. I like that energy.
See, I'm not saying Detroit's a bad team. I just think the Packers played a lot better week 1.
No, y'all did. All right, Nick, I'm going to go to you first, man. Break it down. What are we going to see on Sunday?
It's funny because so far we're everyone's against the Bears right now. Chat's against the Bears, minus everybody that's in the chat that's a Bears fans. Shout out to you guys over there. We played 3 great quarters according to everybody. Everyone's like, yeah, you guys did great and I get it. We lost the game. I own that we lost the game. I can't go back in time and be like, yeah, let's flip that to a W. No, the Bears had a lot more going for themselves. And arguably, the top 2 teams in the NFC North right now, the Vikings and the Packers, we kept it a lot closer versus Minnesota versus Green Bay. I don't know who's the better team out of those 2 right now because they haven't played each other yet. That being said, we put up a pretty good game against Minnesota. We almost came back and won. We dominated a lot of the game. So versus we had sacks in the game. Our offensive line played pretty good. I was just looking at Detroit's injury report. I see Deckers did not practice today, Dion. Looks like he got a shoulder injury. Jack Campbell also did not practice today. He's dealing with an ankle injury. So could be just precautionary. But at the end of the day, Bears are also getting TJ Edwards, Kyler Gordon, and Jalen Johnson back, according to Ben Johnson today. He's hopeful. DJ Moore is expected to play after dealing with that injury. And just like you said, Baz, Detroit's going to be playing pissed off. You don't think Chicago's going to be pissed off too? Opening night, Ben Johnson's going to his old house. Everyone is super supportive of this guy. They're excited for what's going to happen. So I think it's going to be a good game. And that's why I feel a lot more confident versus Detroit than in previous years, considering the fact that we did play a pretty good game against Minnesota Vikings. We showed improvements in every area where we struggled last year. Our offensive line only gave up 2 sacks. Our wide receivers looked a lot better. Caleb looked a lot faster, still growing, still learning. Defense still held their own. Dennis Allen's got a lot of opportunity there. Yes, the kicker is kicking out of bounds on a kickoff is our biggest concern at the moment. But Ben Johnson's got a couple of days to adjust, get ready, get right. I think it's going to be a great game, Dion. I'm excited for this one. I know that we're going to do a preview show over the next couple of days. I know we haven't made that happen yet. We'll put it on your channel. But at the end of the day, I think that the Bears-Lions game is going to be a really good one. Of course, I'm going to choose the Chicago Bears. I think it's going to be 28-24 Chicago.
That's going to be good. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Hey, real quick, though, Chevy Chase did stop in, so we got to shout him out. It sounds like the Bears are cooked this year. He sounds like y'all are
Wrap
cooked.
Wrap it up.
It's over.
Got 16 more games, man.
Nick, man, I'll jump. I want to start with this score first because I think this game is going to be outstanding. I think Bass is exactly right. I think we're going to there's no doubt we get at least one trick play. And it might be very early from Ben Johnson. He's going to hear that boom and be like, you know what? Just do it first play. First play, we're running that thing. Might be on the kickoff. I don't know. He's going to have something for us. I get the set. I'll go right to the score. This thing's going to overtime. That's immediately where my mind goes. I think this goes to overtime. Yeah, and it feels like it's so what is the rule now? Is it first team gets in scores in regulation? It's still over though, right?
No, both teams.
They both get possession.
Both teams get it. Oh,
yep.
We're going for a tie, baby.
No, wait a minute. No ties. No ties.
Oh,
could you imagine 0-1-1? Ben Johnson gets 2 ties in 1 year.
we don't want that. But no, I do think this one's going to overtime. So I feel like it's going to be that kind of game. I think this will be a little bit more scoring, but I'm more with where Lupicus is, low 20s in this game. But that being said, what the sense I get is, number one, talk about that O-line the whole time. Like it's got to be better against Chicago because to me, Chicago's just not. I don't think they're as great up front. I think their starters are strong. I don't love their rotation as much. So I get the sense that if anything, like go no huddle, change the pace, do something to keep guys on the field that you want on the field. You have to find something that gives you rhythm early in this game. You have to mix up the pace of something offensively. I would even look at like electing to receive if you win the toss. Like, let's set something rolling. We got to get some positive energy going on. Get Tesla on there, take a shot, do something that could spark some life early to that offense. And defensively, because of how much I think Ben is going to bring to the table, I get the vibe like the Lions are going to have to really try to simplify everything in the back end. Like, simplify. Terrion looks like he's playing. We're just playing fast. We're going to try to not leave holes. It's going to be a lot of man coverage. Obviously, we'll have to deal with that up front with Caleb, but that's the vibe I get. Is they're going to just try to make this thing play fast. They don't want windows open where Caleb's sitting back there comfy and Ben's dialing things up because he has an expectation of what he's going to get. I don't think it'll be any of that. That said, though, that is the key for me, Nick, because there was one thing that was undoubtedly successful for the Bears. It was Caleb Williams running around. That dude was moving really well, and I'm fired up because it's for us, it's Casey Rogers, and I think this is the first test. And then next week is Baltimore. So it's like, well, it better look pretty good this week because next week you're going to get torched by it if it doesn't. And we've struggled with that in the past. But it fires me up for this game because for what Bass said, we did a lot of like games last week, and it was kind of goofy. We were trying to blitz our linebackers. We don't really have the personnel for that. Your running back looked like a center. I mean, he's just blocking everybody.
Chris Brooks,
like,
bro.
Is happening?
Chris Brooks is a dog.
Honestly, we might need to make a trade. I'm seeing that like, well, we could use a guard. Maybe we put him in there. I mean, this dude was blocking. He's blocking two guys every time. So seeing that, I think that's got to pull back a little bit. Different strategy up front. Regardless of what it is, it's got to be about just containing Caleb across the board. I know Minnesota, at times they got free, but then he would just take off and do his thing. It's way easier said than done, but that feels like the primary focus for this game. So as mentioned at the beginning, I think this thing's going to overtime. I'm going to take the Lions to go down and score a touchdown in overtime, get the ball first, and then we stop the Bears on downs. That's where I'm going to go with this. I like that. That feels good. That felt good coming out of my mouth. So I'm going to go 30-23 Lions in this one. All right. With that, we got one more game to talk about. Well, actually, wait. We got two more games to talk about. Yeah. Let's go to the Packers first because it's tomorrow. So we got to jump right in. And, Nick, if you have to head out, man, we appreciate you being here.
I'll say that. Who do the Packers play tomorrow?
Commanders.
Washington.
Okay. I got in Washington or in Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Green Bay is going to win that game.
You picked Green Bay last week.
Yeah. Again, last year it was always in Green Bay.
Yep. Yeah, with 12 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got the Packers winning that one, as much as that hurts to say. Commanders, in my opinion, did not look very good. That's another take there, but they won their game. And then who did the Vikings play this week?
Atlanta
Falcons.
Automatic loss for Minnesota just because they beat us. Okay, that's all I got.
Wow.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later.
Yep, see it.
All right, that's okay. I was like, I don't know why
It was him for a second.
That's crazy work. All right, we'll go there, man. Thursday Night Football, Washington, Green Bay. And I'm kind of with Nick, man. Washington wasn't overly impressive in that game, especially offensively. Like, that's where the buzz was. They got Debo going a little bit, had the big play there. And I guess it was maybe more so about defense, where we're like, wait a minute, maybe Russell Wilson shouldn't be the starter after 1 week. It's like, what are we doing over here? But we know what Washington's about, and I think that defense is fantastic. And, man, they've just found gems. Like, Sainer still looks like an absolute gem for them defensively. I'm going to go to you first, Lepagus. What are we going to see tomorrow night?
Yeah, this one's a little bit hard to call for me. And there's always that Thursday night kind of a lull. Teams just don't really seem to come on the gates fired up on Thursday night. The games don't really go the way you think they're going to go. So I'm expecting a little bit of that. This game was on a Sunday. I think I'd probably add 2 more scores to each side. But it'll be interesting to see if the Packers can carry this momentum that they had week 1 with the excitement from Micah Parsons into this game going against Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, that high-powered offense, a team that is projected to compete to potentially win the NFC championship this year. So huge litmus test game for the Packers. And I don't know what they are right now. They were very dominant week 1. They were the best team in the North week 1. Will that carry over against the Washington Commanders? I don't know. This is going to be right down to the wire. I am actually going to go against the Packers, if you can believe it or not. Late Noah Brown touchdown is going to put the Washington Commanders over.
23-yarder.
23-yard touchdown by Noah Brown is going to seal this thing late. It's going to be a real good game, though. I think it's going to be back and forth and just nail biter.
Well, Bass, unfortunately, you also have to deal with Will Harris on the opposite side. So you guys got your hands full this week. There are matchups to watch, and at safety, you guys have to deal with a dog. I will say, though, the main thing for me is I think the difference is up front. I think the Packers are going to run the ball pretty well. I don't think it'll be like last week with Jacobs. I don't think they're as good up front, and I think they're going to have success. I mean, I like the vets they got, but I just don't think they're going to have the same success. I think the Packers just match up better for this game across the board. That's kind of the vibe that I get. I mean, up front, Washington should hang in on paper. They just drafted Connerly. They moved Brandon Coleman in, and he looked pretty good at guard. They're moving him in from tackle. So on paper, they should match up a little bit better. And Daniels is always a handful. So even if he get there, he's still doing his thing under pressure. but I just think it's going to be too much for Green Bay offensively. I think they're going to control this game. I'm pretty confident Green Bay is going to win this strongly. Like, I think Green Bay is going to handle business. I'm going to go 27-17 Green Bay at home. Bass?
Ooh,
A
there we
Packers
go.
fan over here.
I'm not a
Now
Packers.
he is. He got turned
Not a
last week.
He's
You guys
turned.
saw all that. You saw Christian Mahogany get walked back.
Washington will win
Done.
the game. Washington by 10. Go ahead. Bass.
Yeah, so Thursday night, they're doing their winter warning
Uh-oh.
game. 71 degrees tomorrow in Green Bay. Why don't they wait for this one?
Yeah.
Why not like late October night? It'd probably be like, all right, winter warning. Cool.
What is that?
We're getting ready. It's where they white out. They're wearing like their white pants, right?
Fine.
But like week 2, Thursday nights, it's 71 degrees in Green Bay
That's weird.
tomorrow, man. I don't know.
It's dark, you know.
Shout out Packers for actually doing something with their uniforms once in a while for like a little alternate there. But yeah, winter warning. So energy should be high. They should carry this. Like we just played Sunday and energy's off the chart, but it is a short week. One thing that's very important to note here, although the Packers carry more injured players in their injury report, they have 5 questionable, 2 out. Bo Melton, Brent Cox Jr. being out. The Packers are the youngest team in the NFL. The Commanders are the oldest team in the NFL. You know, it's a short week, right? That has to play a little bit of a toll there, right? The Commanders are look healthier right now on paper, but in terms of in the game, right? The Packers could be without Zach Tom and Aaron Banks. Saying that, I still think the Packers offensive line will handle business. Jordan Morgan can plug in at left guard and Darian Kennard at right tackle. I thought Kennard played pretty damn well when he had to fill in for Tom against the Lions. So not really worried about the offensive line. We could be seeing Nate Hobbs return. And if the Packers defense was physical last week, it's going to get even more physical because he might be the most physical player on our defense. He was trying to not trying to injure people, but he was like injuring people during training camp because he was like playing it like a real game. Like that's the type of physicality he was bringing. And that's why the Packers went and signed him from Las Vegas. I think he just matches that demeanor of Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine. So we might be getting him back. We'll see. But I think the Packers need to start running the football better, like you said, Dion. I think they will. I think they're going to have success early running the football. I think Josh Jacobs was kind of not playing his best ball against the Lions. He's kind of dancing around back there, not playing that traditional Josh Jacobs role where it's like, hit the hole, drive your shoulder pad into someone and continue driving your feet forward. We start to saw it like late in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. I think he's going to have success early against his Commanders defense. I'm not sold on their defense. One thing that scares the living hell out of me is Jaden Daniels. Like the Packers in history just get torched by running quarterbacks. So at this rate, I don't want to see man coverage once, because if you turn your back to Jaden Daniels, you're going to get cooked. Like he was their leading rusher, right? Last week, I'm pretty sure he was. They still run the ball well otherwise. Like Krosky Merritt, I think, is better than Brian Robinson. So I see why they made that move. Eckler is kind of a change of pace guy. You can throw him the football. He's a good receiving back. I think the Packers are going to have a little bit of trouble containing Jaden, but at the end of the day, it's like you have Edgerrin Cooper. Just spy him on him and hope for the best. And I think that's what they will do. I think it's going to be a big day for Micah Parsons. He saw 30 snaps against the Lions and already had so much impact. Micah Parsons last year against the Commanders had 4.5 sacks. Now they have a rookie right tackle in Josh Connerly, who in my opinion didn't have a great game week 1. I think as bad as the Detroit Lions offensive line was week 1, I think the Packers could make the Commanders line look even worse with what they're doing down low in that defensive line and the versatility they have now that they have Parsons. We're playing Lucas Van Ness at like 4-eye tech, like defensive tackle, and he's getting a sack off of it. There's so many moving parts and so many different fronts that the Packers are running now. There's so much versatility on that defensive line, and it really does confuse the opposing offenses. And I think the Packers defense, is just so, they have so much momentum right now, and they're continuing to like swarm after every play. And I think that's going to continue. So overall, I do think the Packers are going to handle business here. They're going to, continue this forward after a very impressive win week 1. I got the Packers 31-27 victory there. Pretty close though.
Real quick note from Bulldog. He asked a question. That was interesting.
Yeah. I just think Edgerrin Cooper makes more sense, or someone like Javon Bullard, right? Running out of like the box there.
Yeah.
I think why waste Parsons? I don't want to say waste, because like spying Jaden Daniels is important. But and in that sense, it's like, okay, well, Edgerrin Cooper, you still want to use him on pressure and whatnot. I just think in general, Parsons, get after the quarterback, load up that right side. He's always taken on double teams, allows more single teams for our other guys. And I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I think you guys played the most zone in football last year. I feel like you only played zone against us, so
Yeah.
it should work pretty well. All right, Lupagus, man, I didn't know this was prime time, so this is Sunday night.
Oh yeah, we got a weird start of the schedule. 2 primetime games, and we go to foreign seas for 2 weeks after the. It's a weird start.
Okay. Well,
Foreign
Baz.
seas.
Oh, real quick, Lupagus, I actually have a question. So where are we at
Yep.
with Darisaw? Is he expected to play?
Sounds like he is going to play. I think the reason they play Monday was the field conditions in Chicago. I think he's probably ready to go. They said, "Nah, we're not going to risk this." So yeah, and it sounds like Harrison Smith could be back too.
Okay, see, that's massive. That feels massive for this game. Bass, start with you. What do you think we're going to see on prime time?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are coming off massive comeback, and that means something. You know, the Falcons lost to the Buccaneers, and they kept it close. Buccaneers are a good football team. But we got 2 young quarterbacks here. I think right now McCarthy's going to build off of that. Like if he was able to flip the switch, and like you said in the huddle, I didn't know this until you said that. You know, where would you rather be? If he's saying that type of stuff, you know, he's going to go into this game with his head held like extremely high and just be like, "Hey, I'm the guy. Watch this." And that's where I think it's going to start. I think the Vikings are going to take off from where they left off in that Bears game and start hot. I think Michael Penix looked pretty good in the week 1 as well, but I just think, you know, overall, I think JJ McCarthy looked better in terms of like how that game finished. I think it's a good matchup. You know, Brian Flores versus Michael Penix. I think he's going to do some things to try to confuse him. Overall, I think, you know, Atlanta needs to run the ball better. Bijan had 12 carries for 24 yards. I know he had a bunch in the receiving game, but if they don't run the ball well, I think the Vikings could actually run away with this one, but I don't think that'll happen. I have Minnesota winning 24-21.
Nice.
Yeah, and look,
like
this is like it's just a draft guide. Like this is awesome to get to see these young guys against these tackles, and you know O'Neal on one side and Darisaw. Like I'm fired up for that. And then it feels like on the flip side, the Falcons got to be thinking they got a big advantage at receiver. I would be thinking coming in like, man, we got to have dudes that are going to get open all day. Mooney specifically, even Bijan, we got to get him in that pass game too. So I would think that they're feeling like they're going to put up points. But man, Brian Flores impressed me. I just thought like defensively, the approach against Chicago was impressive. It felt unique, and I loved that. And I think he's going to, as Bass said, I think it's going to be a little difficult for Penix to deal with. And I just never trust the Falcons. Like anytime you want to believe a little bit, it feels like they lose the game. This feels like the kind of game they'll be winning. And didn't it happen last year? Did you guys play last year and they gave up a big lead?
Yeah, it was close. We just pulled away in the second half. I think is what it was.
All right. Well, that's kind of how I think this one's going to play out. I think this one will be close for a little bit, and I think the Vikings are going to handle business. I just don't trust them in the fourth quarter. Right now, I trust the Vikings in the fourth quarter. So, again, I'll say confidently they win this game. I'll go the running away late, 30-20. Give me the Vikings.
Hell yes, you guys are fantastic. Yeah, I agree with you both. I think the U.S. Bank's gonna be rocking after the way that game ended Monday night. JJ McCarthy kind of becoming, even getting national love here by people who doubt him like Colin Coward. So I really think it's just gonna be a huge, like the energy maybe not be the Micah Parsons level it was in Green Bay, but it's gonna be very close to that. Sunday night U.S. Bank, that thing is gonna be rocking. Offensively for the Vikings, it wasn't just JJ McCarthy who clicked late. The O-line started to gel late in this one. Jordan Mason, like, he started to run the ball so damn hard. He kind of sparked the comeback in my mind, like, with his hard-ass running. So I think he's going to get even more work against Atlanta here. Justin Jefferson, I don't think we're going to see any more drops. That was kind of a fluky thing. Adam Thielen maybe have a bigger role in this thing, and Hawkinson as well. Darisaw's coming back in this. I think it'll be a much hotter start for the offense. I think they're going to be humming from the get-go. Defensively, the Vikings, they missed 3 sacks early in this game. Jonathan Garner had a weird, he stopped on the first play. The second play of the game was bizarre. I don't know what the hell was happening there. Ivan Pace missed one, and then Jonathan Allen missed a really bad sack. So I think they're going to hit home a lot of pressure. Brian Flores does have a lot of success against young quarterbacks. This is Penix's 5th start maybe. So very inexperienced young quarterback. Defensively, though, we're not going to have, Blake Cashman's out for a couple weeks with a hamstring injury. Van Ginkel is in concussion protocol. Jeff Okuda, as I call him, is in the concussion protocol as well. So we have a very depleted secondary. So Drake London does give me a little bit of concern if he's able to get free, because there's not a lot of help in the back end. Harrison Smith hopefully comes back. And then, Eric Wilson actually had a really good game Monday night and arguably looked better than Ivan Pace has in his 2 years in the league. So I think the Vikings will win this one. It'll be pretty handed. I think it's going to be like 31-13. Vikings just roll.
Here we go.
Man. Real quick, where are you at on Hefe? You know what I mean? Is he going to be, very important towards the end of the season on Okuda? Hefe.
I didn't think he was making a team. I own 1 bar case of beer. So that's where I'm out on Hefe. He looked bad when he was out there. to me, it goes by. You've been in the league, what, 4 or 5 years, and you just haven't shown anything. I don't think there's one coach who's going to unlock it. I just don't think it's happening.
I'm so lost. Who is Hefe?
Okay.
Oh,
Jeff
gotcha,
Okuda.
gotcha. Jeff Okuda, Davenport.
That's how he
both
introduces
bums.
himself. Call me Hefe.
Mm.
You guys can call me Lupe.
Hey, man. I'm rooting for him, man. All right, look, man. I think that's every game. We got some good ones, man. It feels like the NFC North will be stacked with primetime games this year. I don't know what it is for each. I know we have a ton of them, because the Vikings do as well. I'm sure the Packers do. Bears, maybe not. Bears, maybe not.
Probably
But there's
not.
there's a lot of primetime games, so it's good. We'll get to see most of these games as we work through the season here. Chat, we appreciate y'all joining again. Shout out to RotoWire, one of our sponsors today, as well as Sleeper. And Bass, I'll go to you first, man. You got anything left for the people on the way out?
Oh man, I really don't.
Give us something good. We need something good.
Something good.
Yeah,
I don't.
This should have been
got no-
prepared.
I got nothing left good for you guys. Nah, it's there's a lot of good football coming up. Excited for the Packers tomorrow, man. Against the Commanders. It's gonna be a hype game. I'm hyped for it, even though I'm not gonna be able to watch it. It's actually tragic. It's actually fucking tragic.
Wait. You're not
Why
gonna
can't you
watch
watch
it.
it?
I'm going away. I planned this trip in January. I'm like, okay, Thursday is Sunday. I'll be back Sunday. We'll have a game on Sunday. Week 2, Thursday night football. Thanks, NFL. Appreciate you.
Are you like on a plane?
So, no, but we'll
Oh.
see. We'll see. I might be able to somehow like check
Keep
it
that
out.
phone out. Yeah, we got to find a
Yeah,
way.
see.
All right.
Sorry, that was not a good outro.
This is really bad. Love and get save us. What do we got?
Well, it's week 1, right? Week 1's done. We don't know. Packers look great. Bears look like ass. Lions really struggled. Vikings came back after a sluggish start. It's week 1. We don't know who's good yet, who's bad yet. Let's all relax. Let's let this thing unfold here. To me, the next 2 weeks will determine who's who, and we'll figure out where these teams actually rank against everybody else. But it's week 1. Let's just relax a little bit.
I like that. I'm agreeing with your mantra there. Let's relax.
Thank you.
As Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
would say. And we're